to That Wrestling Podcast.
It is your favorite wrestling podcast's favorite wrestling podcast. It's That Wrestling Podcast. I'm here. Joe's here. Brian's not here. Kevin's here. The streak is ended. 1 week of all four of us. So Brian will hopefully be back next week. And in the meantime, you are stuck with us three. You know, a lot of people have said that you don't talk about AEW. You don't talk about AEW. And one of those persons.
Yeah, I'm the one that said you don't talk about AEW.
Well, Coney, we have a lot of AEW to get into. But first, we are going to talk about Monday Night Raw. Now, I jumped on Monday night, did a little podcast talking about it. Did you guys listen to it?
Yes.
God damn it, Kevin.
No, I think he's frozen.
Yes, I totally
did. I'm Kevin.
No, I'm just really good at staying still.
No, he's not frozen.
So you didn't watch it or listen to it?
I did not.
Okay, anyway.
Oh, man, he ripped you a new one for like 15 minutes, man. It was awesome.
Well, I didn't want to talk about Cena because I already talked about Cena, but we're not going to talk about Cena. We're going to talk about Rhea Ripley. She just puts her name on the contract, and she's in the title match at WrestleMania. What do you guys think of that, Joe?
It's the Shawn Michaels rule. He
What's
did it
that?
at WrestleMania 20 when Benoit was about to sign the contract. He super kicked him and then made it a triple threat match. So it's happened.
Yeah, okay.
It's happened more than once, but that was like the first time it happened. I think it's a lazy way of getting it a triple threat. They could have done so many other things. Like Io could have said like she wants them both, but it is what it is. And next time the Raw is like in town and it's close to WrestleMania season, the contract signing, I'm rushing the stage. I'm signing my name to it. I don't care what match I'm in. I'm all in.
Kev?
I want nothing more as of right now. Who knows how my pick will be in a month, right before Mania when we do them. I want Io to win decisively. I want nothing more. I've always been an Io fan, more because I'm just enamored. Well, I'm enamored too. Look at that shine. Just from her moonsaults in NXT, and I think the word adorable doesn't really work because she just seems like
Kev, you haven't been a creep in a long time, Kevin. You're going to start now.
No, that's anti-creepy. I'm being anti-creepy here. I want Io to win, honestly, and not because Bianca and Rhea beat each other up and Io gets in there and they're just not respecting her, pushing her out of the way, punching her, pushing her. Let the big girls talk and fight each other.
Right.
I want Io to show like this. I'm here and I'm not giving up this championship. So I think it was weird. Like I feel
2 weeks in a row, it's been fucking weird.
Like I was pumped when Rhea's music hit because we knew it was going to hit. Like we knew something was going to happen, and the crowd went crazy for her. It was just odd. I wanted to what did the contract say? Did it say names next to it? Were they just solid lines?
So from what it looked like, it was a typical contract where it was like two lines with the name printed underneath, but then Rhea just wrote her name in the middle. Now I would love a real storyline with Rhea and Bianca culminating at WrestleMania. I really thought that's what we were going to get, and then they threw the wrench in with Io winning the title at Raw a couple weeks back. So you're right, Kev. Let me rephrase this. I agree. Because of the bullshit with Rhea and Bianca, I want Io to win decisively. If we were going to, another way to spin this, to make this the triple threat, I would have had Rhea constantly take out both of them. Make her a badass monster, and then that way they both were like, yeah, we want her in because she, did this. So overall, kind of a weird segment, but weird segments lead to good topics on this show, including if you could just sign a piece of paper and get any gig you want at WWE, what is the gig, Kevin?
Oh, what gig I would want? I would want, I was thinking like if I signed any paper like inside Life, I would sign a big, nice blank check, somehow giving me a lot of money. The gig that I would want is head of creative, so I didn't have to say, Rhea, go sign your paper contract to get on there. Realistically, I would love to just be on the creative team. I just think I think that would just be something, even like, and I don't mean this anything against like the foundation Make-A-Wish. That would be like a dream job for a day, right? Like just what is it like for creative team at WWE? Because I feel like most
pretty
fans,
intense,
we're pretty,
apparently.
you know what I mean? We're pretty we give a lot of critiques. So I feel like it would be a big eye opener of like, okay, this is what it goes into it, right? So that's one of the things I've always been interested potentially.
Yeah. So creative was the big thing on social. Aaron Gonzalez, who was on the show a few weeks ago, Keith Hurley also reached out on social and both said creative. For me, nah, man. I want to blow shit up. I want to be the button for pyro and have Cody hit like 7 times in a row before he walks to the ring. Like, that's what I want. I want to blow shit up at WWE. That's my signature for occupation. Joe, are you going to say creative too and be boring?
No, absolutely not. I want to be
head
creative.
ref?
I'm gray enough. I'd be gray and like wrinkled and just like I'd age 50 years in a week.
You're already gray.
And
no beard.
Fine. Yeah, not happening. What I would want to do, I would want to make it a triple threat and sign my name to the contract to be on the announce team with Tessitore and Barrett on SmackDown. Oh. I don't even have to say much, but I want to be like in between those two guys and be like, "You're so smart, Joe," and just hear that over and over again. So yeah, that would be mine. Like, would be the third man on the SmackDown team because I wouldn't want to mess with Cole and McAfee. Not that they're like amazing, but I wouldn't want to be in between that at all.
Gotcha. Well, also on Raw, Austin Theory got squashed in less than a minute. And we also have breaking news, Kevin. Can you hit the sounder? Gunther has an injury. This is for real this time. His back is hurting from having to carry this storyline.
Bumped.
Like, again, he had to come out and beat the shit out of Jay. Which this keeps happening because he says that's what he's going to do every week. He's going to make his life miserable. So that obviously means Jey Uso is going to win the title at Mania, right?
Should.
Yeah.
Either that or Gunther really wins and Jay takes an extended vacation because he's been on forever.
So am I wrong to say that this Yeet thing, it started back at SummerSlam in Detroit, right? Like he wasn't doing that shit beforehand.
I thought it started before, right?
I thought it started at Payback in Pittsburgh.
Oh, really?
I think because in Detroit, he was the real chief.
No, he fought Roman, who was the
I know, and that's
chief.
right, and he was calling himself the real chief. He wasn't doing like the Yeet thing until
I think that was Detroit.
I think it was Detroit, but it didn't get big.
Right.
Until he got reintroduced.
But what I'm saying is it started in Detroit, and a lot of people think it was because of 8 Mile.
Because of like
rap battle at the end.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think it has something to do with that. And it may or may not. I don't know. But this Gunther Jay thing, I'm not loving it. I didn't love that Austin Theory got squashed. This guy beat John Cena 2 years ago at WrestleMania. And this is what he's turned into. Come on. Penta wants the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker and Finn Balor had a fucking awesome match.
Yeah.
Judgment Day fucked up again. Penta came out to help Braun, which then it's the standoff. So are you guys cool with Penta, Braun Breaker at WrestleMania?
Yes, 100%.
100%.
I didn't know who Braun was going to face at Mania. I thought it should have been Sheamus, but I guess been there, done that. I guess Penta is the new shiny toy that we need to see have a spotlight match at Mania.
And I just want a Ludwig Kaiser t-shirt to come out. They don't make, like, he has a great logo. I've said all along this guy is a Bond villain more than Gunther is a Bond villain at this point. Give me some Ludwig Kaiser gear. And then, of course, also on Raw, John Cena spoke for the first time. Everybody wanted to know, what's he going to come out? What's he going to look like? What's the sound? And he answered all of that, much like I spoke of all of this on the emergency pod I did Monday night after Raw. So I guess, did you guys like the no changes? None, with the exception of him not running to the ring. Kev?
I liked it because I thought it was kind of like, we all expected it was kind of like a 180 swerve back on the fans, right? And he acknowledged it. He said, I'm not going to change my music. I'm not going to change the way I look. Then at the end, he kind of lost the smile because he like grabbed the microphone, walked to the ring, went back, was going to talk, and almost like he got frustrated, like mad.
Yeah.
Does he come out, change a little bit next week or TBD? But I liked it because he kind of went to make fun of the people in the crowd wearing the stuff that night. And
we all saw
the best part.
And we all saw the kid.
Is he like is it go up to the level of like the one dude who was shocked when Undertaker lost?
Oh,
like,
the black guy?
No.
Yeah. No. Ms. Girl, no. I think this kid's getting laid left and right now in Brussels. He's banging all the German schoolmates to get that kind of acknowledgement and worldwide recognition. Our social team even made a joke that was the look Brian and Kev give when I make some shitty comment to Joe and they don't know if I'm joking or not. I
always know you're serious, so don't worry about it.
Thanks. Yeah, so the Cena thing, a lot of people are complaining about this. I'm not a good guy or I'm not a bad guy. I'm a human. Joe, did that even register like in your brain when he said it? Because this is a you people promo.
Yeah, I love the promo from beginning to end. I love that he didn't change. The only thing I didn't like about it was Kevin predicted that he's going to say, for all these years I've been like ridiculed, and I'm like, no, that's stupid. He won't do that, and he did it. And I'm like, Kevin was right. But I love that he said, I'm not a baby face. I'm not a heel. I'm a human being. Yeah. Like he was like the bitter ex. Like, you're not going to dump me. I'm dumping you. I love that. Besides Kevin being right, what I didn't like was he kept saying 25 years. It's been 23 years. Like, could you don't round to 25? But it's been 23 years, not 25. But
maybe he's counting the 2 years in OVW.
His prototype
years. Yeah. His cameo in Ready to Rumble in the year 2000, the WCW movie.
He had a cameo?
He's a background guy at the gym when Goldberg's working out. Okay. You can see high top blonde fade John Cena in the background working out. Yeah. So he's in the WCW movie. But nice. What I also loved about it, and you nailed it on Monday as well when you did the solo pod, was the best villain is the one who believes that they're right.
Yeah, because no bad guy thinks they're bad.
Right.
They think they're right.
And every single thing he said, he made a point. It made sense.
You know what this means? We now have a new common sense wrestler. Common sense John.
Yeah, but
everything he said is the truth. I mean, except for me, I never hated John Cena. Kev hated John Cena. I mean, I talked about that on the pod when Kev didn't like me either.
Yes.
You missed out on some good shit there, Kev.
Yeah, Kev, you got ripped a little bit. No,
but you spoke the truth, so it's all good.
Yes, true.
I take my whippings just as much as I take my compliments. One thing I really liked about it, he stood where the W is, right, and he put his feet right in the I guess you could say the down parts of the W, and stood there for a good minute and just let the crowd.
Yeah.
And he dropped the mic and then came back.
No, not at the end. I'm talking about
at the beginning. He put the mic down and was going to walk away, and they're like, "Yeah." In
the crowd, usually Europeans are very, very nice. They threw out some F-bombs. They did their during the show. They did their weird soccer type.
Yeah,
chants,
it's an international show. That's what they do. That's how they get into crowds.
For Cena to go 20 plus minutes, though, I loved every second of it.
Yeah, I agree. Having it needed to be, and what I said on the show, Joe, and I don't know if you will agree with this, Kev. This is new to you because you didn't listen. I don't know if Cody Rhodes can keep up with John Cena on the microphone, which is probably why they didn't let them go back and forth. I mean, Cody called him a whiny bitch, but so what?
Yet. It's coming.
Okay.
Is it going to be this Monday?
They didn't acknowledge The Rock. They didn't acknowledge Travis Scott, which I think is good because you've got 5 weeks to add those pieces here and there. I loved it. In fact,
it's less than 5 weeks.
It's a month from today.
Yeah, it's April 19th.
It's literally a month from today. The Cody Cena match will happen. 1 month from today. 4 weeks. Give or take.
Unless it's the third match on night one. We don't know though. It's like
it's possible. Guaranteed. It could be, third match night one, whatever.
Because we know main event night 2 is going to be Gunther versus Jay.
Oh, I think Gunther Jay opens night. I think it opens night 2.
So do I.
I think we get Logan Paul, AJ Styles to open night 1, and then we get a lot of title matches on Saturday.
I think we get Tiffy Charlotte to open night 1, and we get Jay and Gunther to open night 2. The Rumble winners open both nights.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we get to that point of
we'll get to it.
Harley, get out of there.
It was so easy that one last thing about Cena's thing, and we can move on, is he said you were making this so easy for me.
Yes.
It's like when you have if you've ever had a breakup and you're about to do it and the person is just going like all Maury Povich, Jerry Springer, like old school on you, like going boom, 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 boom. You're like, you're making this breakup so easy for me. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And I don't know if it was strategic, but like he kept on turning, right? When you saw the rise above hate on his sleeve.
Right.
Because he kept on turning the one way. If it was naturally or to show that consistently, like, hey, don't hate me. Don't hate me. I'm only speaking, spitting the truth. Don't hate. I loved it. I thought it was great. The Die Cena poster, Brett saw that. He's like, man, somebody wants him to die. Like, it was good because Raw early in the day was fantastic. And that was a highlight. So this Monday,
I wouldn't know.
Give me we watched earlier. We didn't watch it at the 3:30 time. We watched it before. I think we ended it maybe 8:30, 8:45 or so.
Okay.
But we started it way early, and commercials were still there, but we could fast forward through them.
Yeah, I guess somebody figured out my cheat code because I had commercials.
You've been announcing it.
Oh, I have been, and I know we're like the number one pro wrestling podcast in the world, but still. Funny as I say that, I just get a notification from Netflix on my phone, sitting here to the left of my computer. Okay, so we are a month away from WrestleMania. We just determined that, and there are a lot of people we don't know what they're doing. So I got a list of players here. Just a yes or no answer, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'll say a name.
I get it now.
I say a name. Will they be on WrestleMania? So we'll start with you, Joe, so that Kevin learns it's a yes or no answer to this bit.
Yes.
Braun Strowman, is he on WrestleMania?
Yes.
Kev, is Dakota Kai on WrestleMania?
No.
Rey Mysterio, Joe?
Yes.
Kev, the Wyatt Six.
Oof. No.
Joe, Karrion Kross.
No.
And Kev, the last one, Miz.
Oh man.
WrestleMania is 2 nights. All of these people should be on WrestleMania.
No, it says
I know this is not a yes or no. No, I'll give my
my
answer. If they threw an Andre the Giant Battle Royal in there,
yeah, that makes sense.
But that makes sense for everybody. But no.
But the one person that I would be pissed if I was this person and not knowing a month out what I'm doing for WrestleMania is Liv Morgan. MVP of the last 12 months of the women's division. And where is she?
90% of Judgment Day.
I mean, I also had a couple. I had Finn, I had Carlito, I had a few others.
Yeah.
We got we wasted too much time on that. But
well, Liv, no, 100%.
Yeah, like how is she not on there? And I don't want to like a women's tag match. Because who are they going to wrestle that's going to make the match worthwhile? Seriously, like nobody. I mean, I could see Becky Lynch maybe returning, but who would her partner be? Like Lyra Valkyria maybe, but she'll probably have a women's IC match at WrestleMania. So like
maybe that's the Liv match.
Liv versus Becky? Maybe Liv.
No. Lyra.
Oh
well, no, because Lyra's on Raw.
And so's Liv.
Oh wait, yeah, because Raquel is facing. Yeah, Chelsea's on. Yeah. So,
Liv is main card or main event.
Oh yeah,
level, not mid card.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
it is curious because also on Wednesday, Ariel Helwani did an interview with a man who said he is getting his final match in 2025, and that would be Bill Goldberg. Is Bill Goldberg on WrestleMania? Kevin?
No. Oh, sorry.
No. Okay, so for fun, who is his final match against?
Ooh. It's a big one because it's got to be someone that
worthwhile,
but it's got to be someone that.
Joe, do you have one?
A name.
Gunther. Okay.
Gunther.
Because remember, he said Bret Hart was his favorite wrestler right in front of Goldberg. So,
and at Bad Blood, they got. He said he was. Yeah. So Gunther.
So this obviously.
Bret. Or the special enforcer.
Bret the Hitman Hart. Yeah.
No,
so
Gunther makes sense.
That does make sense.
Probably.
So obviously that means Gunther's going to lose the title because nobody wants to see Bill Goldberg win the title. Obviously, on his last match, he probably won't. But yeah, so that I listened to that interview. I'm about 60% through it, and he just seems jazzed up, man. He, his kid's playing college football, and he's got a new car show coming out with the best fucking name that I've not come up with. The Carlection. Instead of collection, Carlection. Yeah. Oh, it's so fucking great. Great name. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to see what they do with Goldberg because Vince promised him a last match. I guess some time went away. Triple H heard Goldberg on a podcast or something saying about, well, I want to have at least one more. And then Triple H made the call. Goldberg has a 200-acre farm that he takes care of, and he was on the tractor cutting grass. Paul Levesque called him. So very cool that's happening. He just needs to not bang his head off shit because that's what fucked up the Undertaker match in Saudi. He had the Roman match where apparently he was a month removed from COVID, which was he had a pretty bad COVID run. So Goldberg coming back to WWE in 2025. Now, again, more WrestleMania related stuff. Lex Luger was announced for the Hall of Fame. And I think I sent it to you guys. There is a meet and greet situation with Lex Luger and Triple H, which includes great seats for the Hall of Fame for the low price of $8,000. I showed my wife this. She's like, well, we could do that, but we're not doing anything else. We're coming right home.
Which is weird because at WrestleCon, you could have done Lex Luger for $50.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the real Lex Luger story is that he wants Sting to induct him to the Hall of Fame. They were tag team partners in NWA and WCW. And Sting was quoted saying that he doesn't think it's going to happen due to his relationship with AEW. If AEW allows this, which I think Tony Khan will, because he's a wrestling fan first, AEW could request compensation for letting Sting appear on their broadcast. If you were AEW, or actually either or, you can play either side. If you're AEW, what do you want? If you're WWE, what are you willing to give them to make this trade happen? I'll start with Joe this time because I have two ideas. So we'll start with you, Joe, whichever way you want to do it. WWE side, AEW side, doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll just go with both because it's whatever I start with, fine. I thought about this one, and the funny answer is Sting goes to WWE and then Undertaker goes to AEW because their paths will never cross.
That's hilarious.
But that won't happen.
Okay.
I don't think it should be Cody. I think that's who AEW would want, and it can't happen because Sting is retired and it has to be a legend if it wants to be fair. So the legend that WWE should give them, so Tony Khan can have his big collection and 90s tag team, the New Age Outlaws, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, to be with Billy Gunn for one night only and do that like nostalgia pop at AEW shows. So I think it should be the Road Dogg, Jesse James.
So I've thought it in a few different ways. I thought of it for the non-wrestling role. I thought Booker T. No real ties to anybody in, at least I don't think so offhand, of AEW, but it would be a big enough name, and it's kind of comparable to Sting from the WCW time. Like, I thought that. I also thought of an in-ring situation where there would be a match. And this match would be featuring, from the WWE, going to AEW, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Young Bucks.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I have the perfect scenario. If I was Tony Khan,
if they do that, Jason, it should be at Forbidden Door.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Any of this should be at Forbidden Door.
100%. That's exactly what I was going to say. The only thing that makes sense is Forbidden Door, mystery opponent for Mox,
Cody.
And it's going to be Seth Rollins.
Woo!
Because Seth is not going to beat Roman or Punk at Mania. Yes. I forget whenever Forbidden Door is. And Mox is like, I ran through you guys. I need to go elsewhere in AEW.
Yeah, I left you guys.
Bring someone in. Bring someone in.
Okay.
And then you hear Seth's music. Let them battle each other in.
That'd be a good one.
AEW.
I didn't even think of that.
But it can only be one and done. It cannot be a program.
No, it's a one and done. No program. Mystery opponent for Mox. No, you didn't drop the ball. Share it.
No, I did. Drop the ball. It should have been Jericho waiting on a mystery opponent, Kevin Owens. Because WWE left that off the list last week. So I don't know. I mean, it's just a fun idea. You know, when Ric Flair got inducted the second time to the Hall of Fame, that he was under a TNA contract. And the compensation was Christian Cage had to return to Slammiversary. I was there in Dallas. Shocker, I know.
Of course you were.
When Christian Cage returned. I don't remember if he had a match or if it was just a TNA Hall of Fame situation. I don't remember, but
I remember it. It was basically just an announcement of the new Hall of Famer, and like, it's great to be back. I was Dixie Carter's favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
like it was just a quick promo, and that was it. So like that would be the equivalent of what would happen. So that's why I think Road Dogg and Billy Gunn doing something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure Sting will get to. I am sure that Sting will get to induct Lex Luger. It's the only thing that makes real sense. And if it's not him, I don't know who else it would possibly
fake Sting. It's gonna be fake Sting.
It's gonna be Stang.
Yeah, that's who it's gonna be. Or Steve's gonna wear the Sting mask.
No, if it's not Sting, it's gonna be Diamond Dallas Page.
That's truly from the rehabbing. Like when and we all watched the video of Luger standing up. Like, that's an amazing moment, man. Like, that's going to be awesome seeing him truly stand up for probably the world to see, not in a video camera. So it's going to be awesome.
Now, you know what? Hall of Fame wise, was there a Warrior Award last year? Because I don't remember. I thought Shad was the last one to get it. I think they should redo it, the DDP Award. for the humanitarian of the year type of thing.
Well, his wife, Warrior's wife, still I think is a part of WWE.
I don't think she is anymore.
I think she got let go.
Yeah, I think she got let go in the cuts. That's why there wasn't. I don't think there was a Warrior Award last year, so it should be the DDP Award.
That's a good idea. One other potential, if this shit goes sideways and Sting can't do it, Cody Rhodes, because of his dad's connection to Lex Luger in the NWA.
Right.
Good. So let's talk about AEW. And John Moxley taking a bunch of nails to the back.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That shit was crazy. I was watching live. I was not high. And like, I wish I was. Like,
yeah, you thought there would be some things crawling out of his back.
Yeah. And the fact that fucking thing they could not get that thing out. I was like, fucking go wide, whatever. And they did take the camera off him for a bit. But the real story for me here is, for the second time in a week, Cope lost to Mox again. This, whatever butt rider story or whatever the hell their name is, like, this shit needs to stop. It's so bad.
Yeah. Dope.
Shut up.
Place.
Shut up. No.
Coney, come on, man. Even you have to admit this story is getting way out of hand.
No, it's not. It's the greatest thing ever. Anthony Aloysius Khan does it again. Knocks it out of the fucking ballpark. I don't have anything else. I gotta go.
I mean, come on, dude. Seriously.
Neither does the storyline.
Yeah, I don't have any. I really thought Cope was going to win. I really did. I thought, last week happened at the pay-per-view. This week would be ready to make the change in the storyline. But no. And then, when the beatdown happens, FTR comes out. Dax refuses to shake Cope's hand and then pushes Cash. What are we thinking? Breakup? He's on his period and just didn't want to deal with people? What do you think? Kevin.
I love FTR as a tag team, right? I don't want to envision them separate, but I don't know. The fact that I'm a little bit antsy about it, I feel like they would both do just fine. I do. I think that. I don't know.
But you're the biggest.
You're the biggest Cope in this whole situation.
You're the biggest Cope guy in the business. Like what? Yeah. No Cope.
No, like how I mentioned it maybe about a month or two ago. Like Edge, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Who?
Cope.
Who's that?
No, right?
Who's that? Do we call Cope's fans Cope heads?
No, I'm talking about the gentleman when Adam was a superstar in the WWE. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Well,
Adam Copeland is the greatest rookie in the history of professional wrestling, and Tony Khan is the reason. He found this kid working the indies, getting paid a hot dog and a handshake. Tony Khan does it again.
I don't know, man. I don't know what this dude's problem is, but and the FTR stuff is interesting because I don't want him to break up either. But when Cash, got his fucking arm stabbed through the corner post, Dax had a pretty good run as a singles wrestler. I would love to see that where it's full heel Dax. Let Cope and Cash, pair up for a while. And then, I don't know what it means or what it's going to, but man, I was really shocked that they went there last night. I mean, maybe Cash or Dax is pissed off that Cope keeps getting all these chances and fucking him up. So I don't know. Joe, thoughts on the match, the post match stuff, and so on.
The match was I hate to sound like a hater because it's like I really do want them to improve, but the match was garbage. There was no story to it. That spot was terrible, and it's like there's no place in it on a nationally televised show. Keep that stuff in the indies where people just want to see it. Like this is a business show, and you are killing the business with that type of garbage that's on TV. The story went nowhere. Cope's storyline with the Death Riders has been awful, and this is just their way of getting it to move on so the Death Riders can move on to Swerve. And I don't want FTR to break up at all. I think they're just grasping at straws right now because do they really have much of a tag team that's like consistent?
I don't even know who the tag
Who's
team
the tag
champs in
champs?
AEW.
Yeah. There's a trio champs who's like the Death Riders, right?
Death Riders, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, who are the tag champs in AEW?
Without looking, I honestly, is it Private Party?
Yeah. I don't know.
It was Private Party. I haven't seen them on TV in a while.
We haven't seen a tag team really at all. Like besides the Outrunners.
Oh, Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
But they're another. That's another one that's just like WWE light.
Yep. These ex-WWE guys coming in here to win all the titles. I mean, I love Jericho, but does he really need to be the Ring of Honor champ? I think this is coming to an end. His contract's up this year, so
and he's on the pre-show now. He's not even on the main show anymore. So
all the people that get all bent out of shape about Chris Jericho, go eat a bag of dicks because he's doing nothing but improving the product. But he doesn't need to be the champ. Mox doesn't need to be the champ. Cope doesn't need to be the champ. Swerve.
I don't even consider Mox a champ because we haven't seen a title.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's
stupid. So who's the main champion of the men's division? Is it Kenny Omega?
Okada?
Is it the Continental? Is it Okada?
I mean, I think Kenny and Okada are coming together to
and you got Mercedes with all these championship titles that don't mean anything because Toni Storm's the only woman that means anything in AEW.
Yeah, I love Toni Storm, but
I think Cope and Mercedes have been. Did you guys get that text I sent earlier? The 1-year anniversary of the New York Times article that said WWE dropped the ball on the free agent signings.
Oh yeah.
How'd that work out? Mercedes has been terrible.
She's so bad, and she had a good match with Billy Starks, and I know nothing of Billy Starks. She's 20 years old.
That's the thing. That's all she faces is people you don't know.
That's a good point because
she doesn't face anyone because she won't put them over.
The woman from Japan for the pay-per-view, and the Camille storyline. No one has seen Camille since she's got jumped, but have you guys been watching Megan Bayne? Have you seen this monster? She's so badass.
Monster.
She looks like she's out of a Dungeons and Dragons game, like Game of Thrones, man. So good. Strong as hell. They had a good match with Statlander, and then of course the pull apart. So I'm guessing we're gonna get Toni Storm, Megan Bayne, which is exciting. I think she actually did confirm that last night. Toni Storm was on another level last night on pay-per-view, or not on pay-per-view, on commentary. She made a reference. Excalibur made a reference to the Hollywood ending at the pay-per-view, the match. Mm-hmm. And she goes, well, Mr. Schiavone had a Hollywood ending, but he refused to pay the $45 for it, which is hilarious. And then post-match with Megan Bayne, Tony got on the mic and it was, I'm going to have Coney, will you read what Toni Storm said last night?
Yeah, I got that. I can do that. Here we go. You got it?
Yeah, it's up on the teleshow. You got it?
All right, so this is what Toni Storm. I'm so used to singing the praises of Tony Khan. I almost said Tony Khan. Okay, this is Tony Khan reading the promo that Toni Storm said in the ring last night to Megan Bayne. My God, you're a big bitch. I've always said the bigger they are, the harder they come. So it's time you and I got tantric. That's a sex position. Sex style, if you will. You keep looking at my title, but you don't have much to say, so I'm going to make this very easy to you. You and I will have a date at Dynasty, and I will make your thighs shake and your body quake. And I will leave with this strap on. For I am Timeless Toni Storm, and I'm gonna rip your tits off!
Great job, Coney. Finally did something for the show. Awesome.
Yeah, Joe sucks too.
Oh.
I'm Coney Town. I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, wow. That was great. That was a great job, man. Maybe we should have him start reading promos a little more often. Still saying Joe sucks. But the Toni Storm, man, she's so good. I mean, and the fact we're gonna get Toni Storm and Megan Bayne, that's gonna be a badass match. And I had more to say, but it was on my phone, so I gotta grab my phone. Thoughts on Megan Bayne?
I think that match, this is the thing. Kind of like Stratlander years back and Willow when she was chasing it. Toni could lose and Toni's still top of the top.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right? Bayne loses. Does she join everyone else and just mediocre level then? And Toni remains top of the top? Mariah May TBD, because Mariah May I thought was a phenomenal talent. But that's the thing with the AEW women's division. They get a lot of flash in the pans, but then they just don't pan out. If you
the problem is, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, RJ City booked the Toni Storm Mariah May story. Toni Storm is the biggest woman star on that roster because of this booking and this storyline. Therefore, RJ City should be booking all the women. Every woman wrestler RJ should be booking because he is that damn good. He is so good. Joe, thoughts on Megan Bayne?
I think this will be she's not going to win. Toni Storm's winning this one, but this is going to be a difference of she'll look good in the match and it will make a new force in the women's division. Unlike, anyone who faces Mercedes, they just go away.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the difference right there. It's the bigger the star, you can make a star. Mm-hmm. And that just makes more money and makes the division better. It's not about wins and losses. It's about the match and putting people over. We know that.
Shit, look at Harley Cameron. She loses just as much as wins just as much as she loses, and she's fire, right? And the best part about Mercedes Moné is when Harley, all of her
match is over.
That's sad.
When the match is over,
the puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, Harley spent a lot of time with RJ City on the cruise. I'm sure they're friends, and I'm sure that he's helping her become better. She did a sit down with Renee Paquette on AEW's YouTube channel about, I think it was 3 weeks ago. Go look that up. Lots of stuff about her that I did not know, and she's funny as fuck, man. So fucking funny. One more thing before we go. We talked about Swerve. Now he's the number one contender. I guess he's going to get Mox at Dynasty. He made a comment this week that he said that Cody Rhodes and CM Punk are bigger stars because of their time in AEW. I will believe Cody Rhodes is a bigger star because of AEW. CM Punk, nah. That was just a blip on the radar, his time there. And while he did some good stuff, I think if he would have just come back to WWE 2 years prior, it would be the exact same situation. We'll start with you, Joe. Thoughts on Swerve saying it and your thoughts on the people involved with the statement.
Swerve saying it's a little disappointing because you keep the competition's name out of your mouth. You don't need to promote them at all. Even if they were on the roster beforehand, you just move on from the question. But he's right about Cody because Cody was Stardust when he left and he became the American Nightmare and basically started AEW. One of the founding fathers.
He did start AEW.
Yeah, he started AEW with All In, and Cody is a bigger star because of AEW. There's no arguing that one. But CM Punk, no, you're right. He would have got the same reaction if he came out at Survivor Series 2 years earlier in Chicago.
Yeah.
The AEW thing was a mistake. It was getting his name back out there. It was getting his feet wet. And then he realized how good he had it beforehand. And was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this one work this time.
Yeah, Cody 100% right. 100%. I will say CM Punk, could he have come back between, after maybe his UFC stint and not go to AEW? Possibly.
Not with there.
But after that AEW stint, I never thought it would happen. So it made me think like, any possibility is gone. So maybe the surprise factor and how successful it's been since he's been back, I'll say maybe that was done in a negative taste in my mouth from the AEW that I never thought I would get. But I'd say maybe 10% of CM Punk coming back is related to AEW, and just because it was kind of left in a foul taste. But Cody, if you could go above 100% in mathematical situations,
Steiner math,
which is official.
Infinite, then.
Steiner math is authentic. He had a Harvard professor do the math problem. And Joe, as a teacher, you should have done the problem too for this show that you're on. The only thing I can say about Punk, which may have some validity to what Swerve said, is we're seeing Punk after what he experienced, where there were no rules essentially for him in AEW. So, like, if he were to come back to WWE, would he expect no rules, or is he thankful for what the opportunity is because of what he learned in AEW, the shit show that was? So
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. It's like, he got his toes wet and he just realized I didn't have it as bad as I thought I did after working with children.
Yes,
he's
tired and works with children. So, much like earlier, I've got a list of talent that either were in WWE, now in AEW, or vice versa. And it'll be the same thing, Kevin. Yes or no?
Just yes or no.
Are they a bigger star because they're in their company? Mercedes Moné, Kevin. Is she a bigger star in AEW than she was in WWE?
No.
Joe. Claudio Castagnoli. Bigger star in AEW than WWE?
Who? No.
Chris Jericho, Kevin.
I have to talk.
No, you can't. No.
Like no. Moments, yes. But overall, no.
I think Jericho is a bigger star.
It's moments, because like the whole musical thing with MJF, top 5 Jericho moments of forever in my mind.
Yeah.
Certain matches, absolutely phenomenal. It's kind of like the tail end of his career. Could he have had that tail end of his career that great in WWE? I don't think so. Just because he wouldn't have had the spotlight on him. That's where but it has an asterisk. Overall career, when you look at it overall, no.
Okay. It's interesting. I think AEW is a big resurgence to Jericho. All right, Joe. Let's see what we got here. John Morrison. He's in AEW now. Johnny EV, I think is his name there. Bigger star in AEW than WWE?
No.
Okay.
When's he on TV? He's Johnny TV, and he's never on TV.
He was on TV last night to get a match with Bandito on Saturday at Collision. What about Adam Cole, Kevin? Bigger star in AEW than WWE?
Technically, it's NXT, right?
It still counts.
Point. You know what I mean?
No, I know it still counts. I know it still counts, but I'm like, I'll say, it's so tricky. I'll say no.
No, he was much bigger in NXT than he was
so
in. And I was excited for Adam Cole in AEW.
That debut was fire.
We are at Brian's for All Outside for that one, and that was your highlight of the night. Not
when you put all
Bryan
that
Danielson.
It's like putting gasoline on a flame. It's really pretty at the beginning, but unless you put some wood and make that fire, that shit gonna fizzle out. And
this is the longest yes or no answer.
So, Kevin, you're saying if you don't stick wood in it, it will fizzle out.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Soft, the fire.
FTR, Joe. FTR.
Yes.
Okay. And then my final one, well, there's a million more, but the final one for this, Kevin, Dustin Rhodes.
You're just setting him up to talk more.
It's tricky because he was Gold Dust in WWE. Not Dustin.
The answer is no, Kevin.
And he was 7 in WCW. Yeah. What are we doing here?
Well, no, he was the American Nightmare back in the day.
Goldberg. Gold Dust.
Yeah, he had the American Nightmare moniker.
He did have the American Nightmare moniker in WCW for a short while.
Yeah,
he did.
Dustin always said Cody had to pay for it.
I always forgot about that. I just remember him as the natural.
Yeah.
So, couple other people on the list that I didn't really feel like getting into was Billy Gunn, Big Bill, Daddy Magic, and Cool Hand Ange. Remember, they were Ever Moist, I think, on NXT.
Evermore.
And then Bryan Danielson, no way bigger star in
not even
AEW.
close.
No way.
And Christian Cage was on my list too, and Cope. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with people like the Hurt Business. You know, they're new to AEW, fresh off their WWE runs. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. You know,
the Hurt Syndicate.
This one's for both of you. I actually have it written as the Hurt Business. Moxley. I say yes.
I say yes. I say yes too, because he was always with the Shield.
Yep. And that awful WrestleMania match against Brock. Oof, if it was anything goes, and Brock's like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. So I don't know. There's so many this could go either way. You know, or they like look at Penta now in WWE compared to he's been there a month, and the dude's got the most badass entrance, has sold a ton of merchandise, including masks, which AEW never did, but yet now Hologram has a mask that you can buy. Come on, man. It took 5 years with the Penta Lucha Bros, and you did not put out one mask, but you do this.
It's like WCW didn't sell masks of Rey Mysterio. They made him take it off.
And kudos to Penta, because when he walked down that aisleway, Kathy Kelly stopped him, talked for 30 seconds, crowd freaking loved it, and I guarantee he's probably going to sell so much more merch just from talking for 30 seconds and just showing appreciation.
I can't wait to see what they have at the World for WrestleMania for Penta. I mean, I can't wait to have to play that. Guess my merch expenditure. You know, I can't.
$8,000.
Yeah, I bought the triple. Oh, and did you see the Cena one? You can have dinner with Cena at a 5-star restaurant because he's getting some award. $25,000.
Are you picking up the tab for the dinner too?
Limited to 20 people. So that's $500,000 they potentially could make. And it did not say something about charity, going to charity or being able to write it off or whatever. So WWE's really they're embracing this Super Bowl mentality where everything is so fucking expensive. So I joke about the amount of money I spend on dumb shit. I am curious to what I'm going to spend on dumb shit at WrestleMania this year. So, you guys got anything else? Because I don't. I'm out of.
Well, there is one experience that I read that it went down in price. It was a suite, Hulk Hogan WrestleMania suite. Did you read this one?
I did, and part of it was what 10 or 12 to start.
It went down. Yeah, I think it started at 12, and then it went down to 10. Now I think it's like 6,875. It's a weird number, just under $7,000, and it's you get a suite both nights. And you get free food, free drinks. You get to meet Hogan, free merch, blah, blah, blah.
You get a title. You get a title belt, too.
And
they added something to it, Kev. I don't know if you saw this. And this is for real. This isn't me being a dick. You get to go to Topgolf with Miz. I don't know what Miz and Hogan together have, but they're making all these amazing experiences. I'm not trying to shit all over, but the pricing is a lot.
Well, Miz does a lot of charity golf events for WWE, so that's what makes sense with that one. But
if I won, but think about it. Say you won the lottery, it's not going to happen. But say you won $50 million, right?
35 after
every
taxes.
Year we would, all four of us, let's go golfing with Miz. Be like, Miz, you think you can hit that golf ball over the netting at Topgolf?
I have a Topgolf right by my house. I cannot wait to go check that out because I haven't done it yet. So that's a wrap for the show. Brian, sorry we missed you, Brian. We'll get you back next week at that WrestlePod on social media. Let us know online what you thought of some of the stuff we've talked about, some of the yes or no's that Kevin actually answered just yes or no. Congrats, Kevin. At that WrestlePod or that WrestlePod at gmail.com. You can let us know there. And of course, YouTube, That Wrestling Podcast. And wherever you're watching or listening, this is for real. Leave a comment, leave a rating, share it with your friends, because that stuff does help us in the back end here at That Wrestling Podcast. So as Brian says every week, and until next week, enjoy wrestling.
Thanks for watching That Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for more That Wrestling Podcast content, follow at That WrestlePod on social media.